appreciate everyone's presence here and your interest in these items that are on our agenda. We look forward to learning more about. We have got a special group with us today that I'd like to recognize. The Alabama Community College Leadership Academy is here, and I would ask everyone that's a part of that to please stand so we can recognize you. If there's any of the leadership with them that would like to make any introductions or speak, feel free to.
I'm David Hardy. I'm with the University of Alabama and co-direct the academy with Amanda Bergeron. We are very, very happy to be here as we are every year. And thank you very much for giving us the opportunity. This year we have 18 from all over the state. And they're doing great work so far. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here, and I'll tell you, as far as being leaders, it's just important to be in front of the public. Let's just start here. You just state your name and what institution you're representing or who you're with, and be very simple and brief, but we'd like to hear that.
Billy Day, Northeast Alabama Community College.
LaSocia Baldwin, Fountain Community College. Marcy Hill, Wallace State Community College. Elizabeth Day, Faulkner State Community College.
Celeste Robertson, Faulkner State Community College.
Meredith Lancaster, Jeff Davis Community College.
Lisa Sanders, Wallace Community College, Dothan.
Rosie Edwards, English State Technical College.
Mimi Johnson, Trinity State Community College.
Sandra Hughless, Southern Union State Community College.
Nicole Bell, Drake State Community and Technical College.
Cynthia Jones, Lurleen B. Wallace Community College.
Michael Harrison, Enterprise State Community College.
Lauren Salerno, Wallace State Community College.
Wade Connor, Phillips State Community College.
Sam Kirkland, Calhoun Community College. Mark Simpson, Northwest Shoals Community College.
Christian Thompson, Middle State Community College. Elliot Burton, University of Alabama.
Well done.
Thank you all again. Great. We'll begin. Chancellor Baker, I'll let you go over and start with each item and have the floor.
Yes. Gene, take the first item.
Thank you very much. Welcome, Board of Trustees, Leadership Academy. I'm a proud graduate of the program in 2009. Glad to have you all. Look forward to talking to you this afternoon. Today, I want to present to you a couple of programs that we have. One from Bell State Community College, an Associate Applied Science, degree and certificate award in Salon and Spa Management. This is designed as an expansion of a program that they have, existing program of cosmetology at 2 different campuses. They're planning on implementation in September of 2017. As you see, there will be no funds required, additional funds required for the program. And the thing that I want to point out to the board for this is that this is really an opportunity for our students to gain some of those skills, to be an entrepreneur, to own their own business, etc., which is that distinction that we really need, and with the growth in salon spa management, and the ladies in the room particularly, I'm sure can tell you what they pay and enjoy out of those services. And I know what my wife spends, so I'm pretty accustomed to all of that. So I think that's important for you to know that this is actually a movement in the right direction for those programs. We have several in the system already. They will have 5 program options in barbering, cosmetology, aesthetics, instructor training, cosmetology instructor training, and nail technology. So they're actually going to offer the full gamut. This was driven by business and industry. Their advisory committees actually drove and actually asked for this expansion for those programs. So that's exactly the kind of thing that we're looking for in our programs. They've had surveys to ensure that this is something that needed to be done for the however many hundreds of miles, square miles that you folks service Dr. Ferguson. So this is something that's very, very positive for the potential students in the area, and it will obviously help the business industry that's there as well. One of the other things I wanted to point out for the program is that distance education, hybrid formats of teaching will be used, and we think that's a very positive aspect as well. And the one other piece I think is important of this program that we always like to see is that this one is driven by a licensure program through the Board of Cosmetology, so they have very strict standards that they have to follow. So I wanted to bring that to your attention and see if there might be any questions for the board.
Just like for Ms. Haskell, who brought out that.
That is correct, sir. This last week. Chancellor, board, any other questions on this one? Okay, thank you very much. Let me go ahead. Yep. The other one that we have is from Gadsden State Community College. This will be an Associate Applied Science degree in Occupational Therapist Assistant. Currently, this will be a brand new program for Gadsden State for implementation in the fall of 2017, and it also was approved by 8 this last week. This program will be based at the Cherokee campus of Gadsden State, and this is one new program that we have. The only existing program we have in occupational therapy is at Wall State Community College in Hansville. As I look around the room, I don't want to pick out anyone, but I'm one of those people. We're growing more experienced in our lives, and many of us will be retiring. And as the country is growing with more retirees, we see an increased growth in the number of people in the medical industry, particularly in occupational therapy, to help provide services for those of us that are going to be in that position. And they also serve many other needs. We think this is an appropriate opportunity in a very, very high demand, high wage field. There is one thing I will tell you under the rationale that the college has projected about $900,000 to support the program, but they're also looking to receive about $1.4 million, using $1.4 million in internal allocations, extramural funds, and tuition. So there's going to be sufficient funds to help get the equipment that's needed for the program. One of the other positive points here is that these particular jobs, on average, will offer a graduate an opportunity to make about $56,000 a year. That's a pretty substantial amount of money, about $27 an hour on average, so that we think that's a really positive aspect. And I think you will see that the growth potential from the documentation here surpasses 50%. So that's something that we definitely need, and this is going to meet a pretty big need in our healthcare community. Also in here, you'll see the OTA program, and we have one in Hansville. There is one in Birmingham provided by a private institution, and so that is it. And they only take about 36 students per year, so this is a definite need and for expansion for our colleges. Some of the program opportunities for employment are extended care facilities, hospitals, rehab facilities, and also I think home health care is one of those that kind of fits into that segment as well. Part of the situation that the college has to be aware of is that this program has to be accredited from the National Board for Certification in Occupational Therapy. The students will have to pass a accreditation or certification exam before they can get their license. But they also have to have a certain amount of field experience. So this is a highly structured program for the students that will be engaged in it. One of the other positive aspects is that there will be no renovations required of the facilities that they're going to be using, only purchases of equipment. And they also equipment. The other thing too is that they will have access to a couple of computer labs that are existing, so there's no new resources required for that. Are there any questions from the board or the chancellor? You will have to hire faculty for this program as after this approved.
Yes.
Faculty numbers?
Yes.
One full-time, one part-time, one full-time for the first 2 years.
Anything else?
Community College, received its SAC COC accreditation. We're now working with our mission statement. We were approved as a technical college, now we're going to a community college. Of course, that calls for a change in our mission, and that's what we're requesting approval of today.
Any questions? Assistants will do the process. Next item, Faulkner State Community College game. Gary and his staff was here this morning, and he asked me if they behind the eight ball and getting some work done, file crossers.
This is really just routine next step. Last month, y'all approved renovation construction of some buildings on the campus, Faulkner campus, and you also approved issuance of over $6 million in bonds. This resolution is the same resolution that you saw last month. Once the bonds, once we're close to closing on the bonds and they have final numbers, those numbers and all the other additional information will be included in this resolution, and they will bring back to the board then for signature. Basically, right now they're anticipating having this ready and having everything in place by the board meeting in October, but it's very possible that that will not happen, so it could be pulled and put on the November meeting agenda. This is nothing new. It's just the next step and making you aware of that next step. It's, like I said, the same resolution with the blanks there that you saw when you approved the bond issuance last month. Do you have any questions?
Legal 5, rename division policy 307.02, division policy 326.01.
The first of these proposed policy provisions relates to a very simple change to board policy number 307.02, which presently reads bond reserve funds. The only substantive change is to drop the word bond. We recommended that. We believe that dropping the reference to bond more accurately describes the purpose of the policy, and in addition eliminates a potential problem with regard to arbitrage calculations that have been experienced in the past. The change in policy 326.01 is simply to reflect the change in 307.01 in dropping the word bond. Are there any questions? David, I think it's correct. None of the funds in this reserve account come from the bond issue itself. That is correct. So it logically and legally would not be substantive arbitrage. We just are trying to make it so that no one tries ever to make it again. The next proposed policy is one that we've had some requests from various colleges. The old board policy stated a limit of $250,000. Anything above that, construction or renovation project had to be approved by the board. We've got to fill in the blank in terms of the amount that the board wishes to include in this policy for approval purposes. The other change from the old board policy was to include the word demolition in the policy to make it clear that over the facilities subcommittee, and he thought it best instead of that group making a recommendation for it to be placed before the full board for whatever your pleasure is.
I guess the committee has to get
Talked about it through by way of email and 500,000 was a number that kept coming up. So if he did want the full board to have discussion on that. So.
You know, state bid law changes at 500,000 or greater, and the way that it has to be advertised and the way you have to procure it. I think 500,000 is a threshold. If you go some above that, I don't know that I have an issue with that. I guess I would imagine the policy at 250 has been in for quite some time.
Correct.
And this gentleman knows about construction costs, which have escalated greatly in the last 10 years. So we're not really keeping up with escalation of costs if we don't address this. So certainly want to, I guess we just need to decide what amount we as trustees are willing to have review over.
I guess from a committee standpoint, 500,000 would be our target. It's based on, we want to make decisions quickly and be responsive, especially as an emergency need, without any comes to board approval. So our thoughts would be 500,000. I don't know if anyone feels any different about it, or I think that's the target.
And I certainly think it'd be wise to make a provision for emergency situations. If a roof falls, you got to put a roof on. We need to get it done, and maybe that exceeds well over $500,000 to do something like that. But maybe we can make a provision in the revised policy for emergency situations. I like to have to be involved for it.
That's kind of what we wanted, the three of us.
Chancellor, if we approve the threshold, anything that's below the current threshold or below the new one, what's the process, Todd? What's the process that follows? How? I'm sure it speeds up. It speeds it up considerably if it doesn't have to go through our 2-month minimum that we've got work session and the meeting.
Yes, sir. The colleges have in place owner-architect agreements for projects that would not exceed $250,000, wherein they take RFQs from building professionals, architects, and engineers, and they go through that selection process, and then they're able to do individual smaller projects until that cumulative total for that architect is $250,000. And so that same thing would be employed with a new limit once we got to that point going forward, in coordination with the Division of Construction Management.
I kind of like the idea of 500 plus some kind of provision for emergency, something that's not just that someone will an emergency, but a real emergency, because that doesn't hurt. And we need to move, our process to get through is a 3-month process.
If it falls under the threshold, does the chancellor still have to approve it, or it's limited, it's kept in-house on the campus?
Yes, sir. Under the threshold that comes to the board, it still has to go through the Division of Construction Management process, which necessarily has to come through here for our internal review and for chancellor's approval.
Under the threshold?
Yes, sir. Right. Nothing gets filed out of seat.
The example you gave of a $250,000 contract, is that Camden College's award, as many of those, are those per professional or per construction project, or is that cumulative annually for the college? How does that?
It's cumulative annually for that individual. It's cumulative to whatever the terms of the contract are, typically a year, for that individual architect.
Or
projects that he is working on or engineer.
So it is primarily for design services or construction? Is this both? It's for both.
It's for both.
So any whether it be a general contractor you're engaging with or a design professional, the limit's $250 per engagement.
Yes, sir. For the engineer or the architect, it would be $250,000 total for his services for that period of term of the contract, regardless of if one individual job he does has a total cost of $200 and the next one is $150. His portion of each one of those jobs is adding up.
reaches that total of 250, then they would just simply work toward a new agreement.
I guess my only concern is that a $250,000 design fee, you're looking at ABC bid schedules. If you're looking at a $10 million project, it's way beyond that. And if we have a discrete project that's going to be a large building or something, that design contract is going to have to come likely because it's going to be more than $250.
Correct. That's a whole different process. If the end of the project's going to be coming before the board, and they're going to have to do an RFQ for the building professional for that individual project.
I think isn't it ABC's rule that at 250 you have to engage ABC and go through all that process. We did as
well. We will under 250 or over 250 have to use ABC.
I didn't interpret this including design. I saw the construction renovation questions. I don't think it includes design. It's a different policy.
We just allow that to be done under those contracts, those under contracts.
Well, that's what I would drive at. We need specifically to put language in here for design services and construction services, and their amounts, their thresholds probably ought to be different. You're talking about 6 to 10% of construction for a design service on any given project. That sounds like a big word. Well, it needs to be more clear.
Right, exactly.
Any questions? Thank you.
So is this an open issue or have we acted? It's an open issue. I think what we just have to be very and the main other language. I think 500,000 is targeted on that which include design and so
Next up, workforce.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, members of the board. First, let me offer Annette's apologies for not being here with you this afternoon to provide this update. She's actually representing the Alabama Community College System at Hyundai at our plant tours, representing us well. I have 3 items for your information this afternoon, and all of them are on the allocation of the 2016-2017 Industry Certification Initiative Funds. The first one is an update from information shared with you previously, and to let you know that we have received projects that have been rated and approved by the respective regional workforce development councils as addressing their priority workforce development needs in the respective regions. And as part of that process, as you're aware, as you put in this piece, is looking and or assigning and selecting sector expert committees to also review those requests. Those sector expert committees are currently being formed and will be meeting the last week of September and reviewing these fund requests. And we will have detailed recommendations available to you and provided to the Board of Trustees the first week of October prior to you meeting them for in the October action. And we'll be able to give you all the details and information you need and address any questions on those specific pieces. But as you know, I think the subcommittee of this board wanted that sector expert committees to also have an opportunity to review those proposals as well. So I want to provide you that update on the status of those requests. Any questions on the first item? All right, the second item, the same industry certification initiative funds that are used for the career coach programs. The line item is for a total of $600,000 for career coaches. We had 23 colleges request funds, and the recommendation is for each of those 23 colleges to receive $26,000. And as a reminder, those career coach activities are primarily for middle and high school students, for career and post-secondary education, career pathway training. It also includes adults as well as high school students, 7th through 12th grade, focusing on those 16 career secondary pathways. So really trying to link those students with CTE and those career pathways and providing that service and advice to those young students. And again, a request for you all to approve that specific allocation for that line item. Any questions on the career coach item? All right, the last item again is the one that you'll be familiar with from having done it last year as well. I'm requesting a cap of $250,000 to be used for excuse me, existing business and industry grants, and allowing a cap of $15,000 for those grants, which then could be approved by the chancellor. And this has worked well this past year, being able to be responsive to those requests from our institutions. And it works typically at the beginning of the current fiscal year and goes throughout the year as those funds are available. Again, up to that $250,000, but no more than a maximum of $15,000 to be approved by the chancellor. Questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Finance and Audit Committee report.
We're going to take just a couple of minutes to kind of point out some things to you. In the back of your book, you have 3 documents. If you'll take the 8.5 11 document that says detailed listing of obligations versus budget. This is a report that compiled for the system office. And generally each page is an account. And if you will look at the last 2 or 3 columns, you can understand what the year-to-date obligations are. The next to last column is the annual budget amount, and then the unobligated budget balance. So basically, what we spent, what our budget is, and what we have left in all of these various categories. These are things that our Audit Finance Committee get from Ms. Shane Leatherwood on a regular basis, and we're looking at these, and I just wanted to take the opportunity for the rest of the trustees to see these, see if you have any questions about them. This, as a department of the state, this is a report that the Department of Finance, they're generating, or they're generating. So this is basically the funding for the system office as you look at this. So if you want to take just a moment to flip through there, if you have any questions, Jane can answer them for you. She does really well coaching us, helping us understand these things. In general, everything in here is in order. It seems that we're progressing appropriately through the fiscal year, which is coming to an end soon. We're just a few weeks away. The expenses and when the encumbrances are attached to the accounts, vary. We're into a new school year here at the end of the fiscal year, so I think there will be expenses that will be expended, that will change this before the fiscal year is closed out. So this is just this is through August, so this is 11 of 12 months on our fiscal year. The second thing we want you to see is a report that is done internally. This is the other 8.5 by 11 document. Basically, this is the quarterly budget to actual. So this is for third quarter fiscal year ending 30 June 16. And the first one is the system office. And as you flip the pages, if you look at the top, you can see that each one of these alphabetically are the colleges and then ATN, all the way through all of the organizations. The funds are separated as restricted, unrestricted, unexpended plant, auxiliary, and restricted. And you'll see balances in here where some of these funds in some colleges have been spent per their plan, and you also get to see what their fund balances are. Basically, this is just a year-to-date. This is not a comparison document. It's a very simple document. It gives us a if we see negative numbers here, or we see changes in balances when we compare them to the last quarter, and it helps us understand trends. You also have to, again, keep in mind when expenses occur. expenses occur during the school year, and in the summer months, they slow down a lot. So, again, not expecting you to look at this and make comments, but I do want to ask the trustees to take this and look it over, and if you have questions, come back to our committee with Ms. Leatherwood to help you understand that. We have certainly fiduciary responsibilities as trustees, and we have to have a certain amount of understanding of what this is. We're approving these budgets. We just did that today for the coming year. So this is a report of the expensing those budgets you approved. This was last year, we approved the coming year. That's it in general on that. Now, one last document that we want to talk about, and then that'll lead into another discussion, I think. This is the combined audit findings for all of the colleges in the system. And again, it's listed alphabetically for those that had findings. If they're not listed here, they did not have findings. You see a column that identifies the finding. It goes into further detail. The finding may be more specifically related to legal language and numbers, and then the details helps explain that. And then the last column that you see is the response of the college with respect to the audit. Now, these audits are performed by the state auditor. The audits that you're looking at are for the 2014-15 year. So they are that far in arrears when we get. As I said, these I do want you, if you don't look at anything I've given you, please take these home and read these. I want you to understand these findings, and I just think it's something that you need to be aware of. Our presidents in every case have responded, and they put plans and action plans in place to overcome these findings. And some of these things, those of us who conduct business and deal with software and data input, there's plenty of opportunity to make error, and some of these findings are just simple matters of a misinput of data that has to be put into a journal and taken back out and corrected, and it's just, but it is a finding, and what we hope is that we create systems that give us checks and balances to avoid the findings if at all possible. Now, we do have some findings, and all of these documents are published. They're public documents, so we're talking about things that have been put out by the state of Alabama Finance Department. And we have some, findings with respect to grants, student aid, student loan, various types of federal funding where we've had issues that are probably more serious in nature, and those that need to be paid closer attention to with respect to compliance in those areas. A lot of our colleges' tuition, great percentage of it comes from grants or student loans or some type of federal funding. So remaining compliance with respect to all of these areas are absolutely critical for colleges to have revenue. So that some of these you know about, some of these we've talked about. This just gives you the detail of exactly what was found, explains it, and what we're doing about it. You can, some of these talk about some findings too that have reoccurred. Now, beyond this, I wanted to get into a little bit of discussion, and I'm going to ask Dr. Baker to make a statement on it. We have wanted for a long time to put together a compliance element within the system office. And we sort of laid out as the Board of Trustees, you may recall, several months ago what we wanted. There are multiple ways that could be done. An internal auditor is something that maybe it's not necessarily what we want, but we do want the function at some level being performed. Because my goal would be to create a continually improvement organization where we can have an expert in financial aid, federal financial aid, go out to a college who may have a finding and help them understand what are best practices. How do we deal with the issues that are going on at any particular institution so that we don't have that finding again, and that we don't risk losing federal aid. We have some real situations, where, you know, if it's not done accordingly and it goes for 2 or 3 years at a time, the federal government could say, hey, we're going to suspend your ability to have federal funding at this institution. For some of our institutions, it's that happens, they couldn't operate because we're receiving 70, 80, 90% of the tuition through the federal funding programs. So, this in no means, in my mind, is a hammer to go out and quash anybody. This is a help. And it is a standardizing of how we work as a system and in the colleges to comply with what are very tedious and detailed rules and regulations in complying with receiving federal funds. And what we have some colleges that do this very well, and some that are struggling with it. You know, we're one family. We've got to learn internally how to share good practices, good procedures across all colleges, so that we can avoid having findings with respect to federal funds. In my mind, when you do a SWOT analysis and you understand what your risks are, that's a risk to us. And I don't know that we, in times past, have addressed it as well as we should have, and have desired that we will. So, Mr. Baker, I know that you have mentioned that you're working towards setting this up, and
our plan, I expect to have it in place October.
And I think your points about standardizing kinds of things, we have a variety of ways across the system that some people do things. Some are good and some are not so good. We've had some unfortunate experiences with those not being so good sometimes. All we're trying to do is to find out what the best approach is and make sure that we are implementing those good practices across the system so that we don't have the embarrassing situation occasionally. So we'll have a program person in the unit as well as 2 accountants. And we find that, or I feel that there will be many occasions where as they go from school to school, they can help provide information to the other schools about what kind of things are happening in federal programs. I happen to run a school, a significant size school, that just didn't file for federal funds. It would have been an easy grant, just because they didn't have someone that was familiar with it. Well, I think a unit such as this can be a resource as well as looking at what each school is doing. And so to me, it can be a very positive influence in bringing about some standardization of best practices, as well as a source of information. From time to time, we have a school that needs some help in accounting. And it would be good if we had someone in this building on a regular basis who was familiar with everything that's going on out there and would know how to walk into a school and start from scratch and say, this is the way we can do it. This makes sense. So I see it as just a move toward becoming the best we can possibly be. That's what our goal is and should be.
I agree, and I applaud the fact that we're at that point and we're about to implement this. And, you know, I just, I personally have felt in my 1 year of observation that in this type of instance, one institution helping another, we really haven't functioned as we could have like a system. We've had a lot of individual efforts that are good and some not so good, but I think this is where we can capitalize on, take the best practices from whoever are doing it and share those, such that everyone can benefit from that practice. We can avoid having findings. You know, I'd love to see next year the document that James compiles for us be much less thick than this. You know, some of these are minor and they don't trouble me, but some of them are not. And we really need to deal with them. And ultimately, guys, as lady trustees, we'll be held accountable for this. And you know, so that's why I think it's critical we pay attention to it. That's all.
We're positive.
Right say thanks to you and your committee, which is made up of Crystal Brown and Frank Caldwell. I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. Milton Davis and Frank Caldwell. Forgive me, Crystal, I didn't mean to put you on. I didn't mean to put you on another committee.
Appreciate all their work though.
Well, we're very thankful for Jane and her staff, because they compile all this data and get it to us, and, you know, let me go ahead and hammer on one other thing. This document is a compilation of 26 reports that they have to compile into this document, because we have 16 colleges on one software platform and 10 on another. And we have done a lot of work in that arena, and you know, it's not very easy. It's not an easy problem to solve, and we may not be able to get everybody to one platform, particularly because we have such a varied size differential between our colleges. And one platform is much more effective for the larger school, and the smaller schools can possibly use the other. But the data that we get out of it does have to be homogeneous. It does have to be instantaneous, and we have to have it on a regular basis so that we can effectively have oversight. And that's our challenge, and we are working on some reports that we want to see. And you know, I will say this: I have sort of come full circle on how much I want to see, and recognizing our role and everyone who is working below us. We don't need to see a tremendous amount of detail. We need to see a 30,000-foot level, but we do need to see trends, and we do need to see, understand, you'll be able to see impending issues, the problems, and predicaments.
I would hope that as we go along, even with different formats, we can assist in bringing the cost of some of those operations down.
I would recommend
that we work together and cooperate together. I think we'll still get the same thing, but for less money.
That's all we got, Mr. Chairman.
Well, thank you again for taking the interest on this way.
I'm sorry. You asked one other thing. I failed to say this. You asked at our last meeting that we undertake the salary.
Yes, it's compensation. Yes.
Wanted to give you a brief update on that.
Yes.
We have received a lot of information from some colleges who have saw a lot of that data. I've talked personally with two companies or two organizations in the state that have the potential to do this. We've explored procurement options, whether system office or whether we go out to a college to procure this. And we understand the differences in those. One's more nimble than the other. One has a different set of rules as far as procurement goes. So we will use that to our advantage and work within the rules, but work to our advantage. So expect that bring a recommendation to the trustees probably within a month or so of how we proceed on this and get it underway.
Great.
You did get that folder.
I did, and I had some from other folks who have given me a lot of good data that I look forward to pass on to whoever's going to do the survey.
Sure, it'd be a lot of work. Thank you for accepting that. Thanks to the committee for accepting that. That's really important. Let's get you worked up. Make us competitive. Any other? Ryan, do you want to bring up any of your policy things that the committee has right now?
Don't have anything concrete as it stands right now. Have gone through the process of looking through the policies and review them, and they are quite comprehensive and extensive. Require a lot of work. We do have teams compiled, put together to do the overview. One in particular, the 800 series. I'd like to have the president's involvement in looking at those and making recommendations to revisions and modifications to all of that. They know the system. They are part of the system.
they know the faculty, they know the faculty's input is extremely important in my opinion. It needs to be looked at from an administrative standpoint. But we're hoping to have some recommendations by the November meeting, going into the December session. Make some recommendations in that area. The 200 series, as we talked about earlier, we hope to come forward with some proposals on the 200 series policies next month, in October meeting.
Very good. Thanks again for assuming that responsibility. Appreciate y'all's diligent work on that. Chancellor, do you have anything else to come before the board?
I was going to say, I serve as a representative of the system for the Alabama Workforce and Statistical Advisory Board, which is a mouthful. It's the old longitudinal database system. And we had a kickoff meeting on September 1st. The co-chairs are the Alabama Secretary of Labor, Fitzgerald Washington, and Dr. Joanne Hale. And, there's still a large group that's against the LDS because of security issues, funding, government access. And we worked on a strategy. They asked for two representatives to serve on an implementation team. This implementation team will implement goals, look at the security issues, develop communication strategy and strategic plan. So Dr. Baker has provided me with those names for the implementation team. We're going to proceed with it.
Very good.
Yes. Oh, yes. Representative Terry Collins was there.
Well, that's important work. If we can get that system established in the state, I think we'll be a huge step.
Few states have done that. Yeah, system.
My compliments to Acting Chancellor Baker for responding so quickly to your request.
Yeah, I asked something on Monday and responded the next day. So it's pretty quick.
I can promise I can do that time.
Anything else from any of the other trustees?
I think some of the things that I had promised you, I would send you to your table. Some of the documents and things. So, don't be looking for the table, I just took the keyboard.
We like that.
Economical.
Chancellor, do you have anything else? Thank you again for the Leadership Academy for being present here. We appreciate y'all's interest in what we're doing. Thank you for your participation in that. Appreciate all the staff and presidents that are here and interested in this. And if there's nothing else, we will stand dismissed.